Music can only mean one thing, of course. It's time for another exciting round of winners and losers. Last week was absolutely unbelievable. I have to say, loads and loads of people voted, more than I've ever seen. And the margin of victory was quite extraordinary. 83-17%.
It was gerrymandered, obviously.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it. I mean, even I would question whether it was gerrymandered, but obviously
it had to be.
It was audited by all the usual people, and they passed it as a completely solid result. So it's now 3-2 to me. Okay, so now we're ready for another round. See if you can come back to the land of the living. Would you like to give us your first loser?
Yes, I will. My first loser this week, and very, very strong candidates this week. I've put a lot of time into this because I'm not going to allow any gerrymandering.
Right. Well, you put a bit more time than you did last week.
Yes, exactly. My first loser of the week is Ronaldo.
Ronaldo?
It has to be. I'm afraid he had by his own standards, a very slow start to his Juventus career, and then he finally broke his deadlock after 3 games, scored a goal, but then unfortunately he managed to get himself sent off in the Champions League, a competition which he has dominated for the last, I would say, 8 years, really, and he's won 4 times in 8 years, and you know, with a foolish pull of the hair against an opponent, went off, but worse than that, then burst into tears. I'm afraid that, you know, you look at him and you think, wow, the world's greatest footballer, he looks like a loser tonight.
Well, I've never understood why he went to Juventus, to be honest, but I mean, that's another story for another time.
At the end of his career,
I suppose. My first loser this week, and before anybody starts having a go at me and say, oh, it's ridiculous, it's only the first game, is going to be Pep Guardiola. Because Manchester City, by their standards, have dropped a couple of points already in the Premier League. They're third rather than first, right? And of course, last year they absolutely, you know, horsed everybody else and won it from a standing start. But they start their Champions League campaign with a loss to Lyon. I mean, they're in a group with Lyon, Hoffenheim, Shakhtar Donetsk, and I'm sure they'll get through. And I'm sure that things will improve. But to lose at home 2-1 to Lyon, it turns out that Pep was in the stands because he couldn't be on the touchline. Mikel Arteta was there instead. He says it's nothing to do with the fact that Pep wasn't there. But it's a pretty awful result for the team that's supposed to be one of the best teams in Europe and one of the teams that's meant to be winning the Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to nominate that game, but I was going to nominate Arteta because he had full responsibility for running the team, and they had their worst result for 2 or 3 years. But anyway,
Pep Guardiola's in charge of the organisation, so I blame the man at the top.
Okay, fine. My second loser is the Metropolitan Police, who for the last 5 years...
Hang on, you said the Merseyside police were losers last week. No, you got something in for the police.
No, I've got nothing in for the police.
Yeah, you did.
No,
you did. You said that.
Well, if you just listen, please, shut your fat mouth.
There's no need to be abusive just because you're going to lose again.
Let me get on with it, right? The Metropolitan Police, the last 5 years, have been trying to find the Croydon cat killer.
Oh, yes.
Unfortunately, the Croydon cat killer, it now transpires, doesn't exist. It's a rampant bunch of foxes around Croydon who either have been attacking cats or... more popularly, cats have been getting knocked down by cars, and the foxes have been leaping on them and actually tearing them to bits, because that's what I'm afraid foxes do.
Yes.
So the police have now admitted that after spending hundreds of thousands of pounds trying to track down a maniac who's going around killing cats as far away as Brighton.
And mutilating them. In a way which made everybody sort of absolutely recoil in horror.
And laying them out in sort of ritual, you know, sacrificial type ceremonies in people's gardens. No, it was foxes who've been unfortunately attacking these poor cats, and once again the Metropolitan Police look like a bunch of yo-yos.
Yeah, absolutely right. My second loser of the week is Lily Allen. Lily Allen, who is not unknown to these parts. She's already blocked me on Twitter, so you'll know that she's obviously a loser for doing that. She's a loser particularly this week because she was up for one of the 12 shortlisted artistes to winning the Mercury Prize, which is a prize that's offered to, you know, the greatest album of the year. She didn't win it, and it was given to a band called Wolf Alice, but when the announcement was made, she put out a tweet saying, please, will someone call 999, I've been robbed. You know, very, very ungracious. She later said, oh, I really like Wolf Alice. She was very petulant. And then she put out her album again. She's also in trouble with her own dad, right, because she claims in her book that Keith Allen, her father, once suffered a sort of...
I've got sympathy for Lily Allen now. Well, she spouts all this left-wing dogma and rubbish all the time, but... I believe some of that might now be because she had such a troubled childhood because her father, according to her...
Why does that all need to be washed in public?
Well, the point is, it explains a lot of the way people behave when they're adults if their parents behave so badly and irresponsibly when they're kids. Anyway, that's your second.
That's my second one.
My third loser of the week is, in fact... Chris Grayling, who is the Transport Secretary of this country, who has been lambasted roundly over the last 36 hours because new timetables put into place throughout the railway system, for which he's responsible, simply don't work, have caused a massive increase in delays, cancellations, no drivers available for services that have been rescheduled, in timetables that don't work. A real, utter, proper loser affecting tens of millions of people in this country. They're my three losers. I commend my losers to this House.
OK, very nice. Thank you. I haven't finished mine yet, so you can commend everything you like. It's not going to do you any good. My final loser this week is going to be, once again, Hugo Lloris. You had him last week, of course, because he was done for drunk driving. It now turns out that the injury that he sustained, after the drunk driving incident, is now being blamed on the incident, because Pochettino, his manager, has basically said, it looks as though the injury was sort of exacerbated by the stress that he was in, the bad feeling that he had, and it just shows you, if you didn't really need to know this already, that footballers going out on the lash and misbehaving is actually bad for them physically.
Absolutely.
And so I'm afraid, because he's missed the game, and Tottenham's form has gone as well, it would seem, because he's not playing in goal for them, that in fact, things are not well in the house of Mr. Hugo Lloris. So we have some winners?
I have winners, okay.
Everyone's a winner, baby, that's no lie. That's no lie. You never fail to satisfy.
Shall I go first with my winners?
You go first with your winners.
I've got a surprising winner, first of all, which you've probably not heard of this young man. He's a guy by the name of Oliver Fischer. And Oliver Fischer is a professional golfer. He's an English golfer. He plays on the European Tour. He's just taking part in day 2 of the Portugal Masters in Vila Moura, a place that I've played golf many a time.
Indeed.
He has carded the first ever round in the history of the European Tour of 59.
Right.
Isn't that incredible? Now, I've played round Vila Moura, and I know exactly how difficult that is to do.
I think it was a bogey-free round, 1 eagle and 12 pars. 12, he had 1 eagle, 12 birdies, and no bogeys.
Incorrect. He had 10 birdies, 1 eagle, and he had 12 under pars altogether.
Yeah, exactly.
So incredible effort. No, you didn't. No, you said he had. No, you said he had 12 birdies.
Yeah.
He had 10 birdies.
No, you said he had 12 under pars altogether.
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
You said 12 birdies. I know exactly what you said.
Anyway,
that's my first winner, Oliver Fischer. There's no point in you trying to make out that you've actually done loads of work this week, just because last week you didn't do any.
No. Nobody's heard of Oliver Fischer. But,
I know, but he's a winner because he's the first ever player in the history of the golfing fraternity to score a 59.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a real winner is this
go
week.
on then.
Real winner this week is Pogba, because Pogba had a sterling performance against Young Boys.
A rubbish team.
But for No. It's away from home. Manchester United.
Rubbish.
They're having a semi-crisis. They needed stabilising. They've won 4 since they lost 2. And Pogba was the star of the show. He scored incredible goals. The first one in particular was magical. And came off the pitch with a smile on his face and greeted journalists afterwards with a very confident air about him. An absolute supreme winner.
Okay, my next winner is Conor McGregor. Do you remember Conor McGregor? He was the UFC fighter who had the fight with Floyd Mayweather.
Wears daft suits, doesn't he?
He does wear quite daft suits, and he's very controversial. He gets himself in all kinds of trouble. He gets into fights when he shouldn't. He's been reprimanded several times. I think he's ended up in court a couple of times. He's just signed a new 6-fight deal with the UFC, right? And Dana White, who's the president of the UFC, and he is going to be probably the richest sportsman in the world as a result of this fight. Already, some of the pay-per-view numbers are immense. You're talking 2.5 million people signing up to watch one of his fights.
One fight.
Now, just imagine.
It's amazing.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
People are paying upwards of, say, I don't know, $35. 2.5 million of them.
We'll soon have that number of people, listening to the Two Mikes podcast.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, you let me know when the numbers get to that figure.
At the subscription rate we're charging, well, we could, buy ourselves a palace or something.
Yeah, well, let's look forward to that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Anyway, Conor McGregor is my second winner of the week.
Okay, my second winner of the week is a chap called Jed Mercurio.
Oh, yeah.
Jed Mercurio is the man who created and has written Bodyguard,
Oh, yes.
which has been the most successful TV series for the last 10 years, believe it or not, in terms of numbers that it's attracted, and which comes to a conclusion on Sunday night this week, when I've already predicted that Keeley Hawes, who plays the Home Secretary, will be revealed to be alive.
What?
Now, whether she is or
That's
not,
rubbish.
whether she is or not, it doesn't matter. Jed Mercurio has produced the most interesting and fantastically exciting TV series. Not everybody likes it, but the numbers are sensational considering we're a multi-channel TV these days, and he has to be a national winner for the excitement he's created with The Bodyguard.
Okay, well, you may say that. I wouldn't necessarily agree. Finally, my final winner is the new James Bond director, Kari Joji Fukunaga.
I know, it's a really hard name to pronounce that.
Actually, I'll tell you what, he's got this. Not only is he going to be a winner for becoming the new Bond director and getting hold of the new Bond franchise, but he apparently wants to appoint Idris Elba as the next James Bond.
Well, we don't know that. We just know he's a friend of his.
No, he has said that, like the rest of us, he is keen for Idris Elba to play the next 007.
Well, we've seen pictures of them together. They're big mates. It wouldn't be surprised if he did. But that's if he does the next film. He's been taken on as the emergency director of this film. That's right. Which is called Bond 25.
Yes, that's right.
Because old Danny Boyle...
Scarped.
Didn't
fancy, had... what
creative differences.
Creative differences, because he didn't agree with some of the script.
Okay.
Now, I think that's a pretty good one.
Okay, my third winner, and I think this will clinch the title for me.
Title? No, the title is not up for grabs yet. It's the start of the season. You're 3-2 down.
Is our future colleague, Mr. Chris Evans. Chris Evans, who already is probably the most successful DJ in Britain, almost certainly, and has been a very successful broadcaster for a number of years, was able today to announce the birth of his latest 2 children.
How does that make him a winner?
It makes him a winner because if you have a fortune of £55 million, if you have record numbers of listeners, which we're all hoping very much he's going to transcribe and bring over to Virgin, which is a member of the same group that we work for, the Wireless Group.
Yes.
And if you then, your wife delivers you 2 beautiful children who he's sort of named Ping and Pong, but I mean, that's just a joke, you know.
Well, that's not their real names, is it?
Of course it's not their real names.
He's revealed what their real names are today.
He certainly has, but nevertheless, his lovely wife, Natasha Shishanian, who's a professional golfer.
Who?
Natasha Shishanian. Shishanian.
Is that the right pronunciation?
It is, Natasha Shishanian.
Right.
And you just have to say that there are winners and losers in life, but for a man to have amassed the fortune he's got through his own genuine talent, and now to have charge of a family of 4 beautiful children and his wife, you can only say in life, you look at that guy and you say, this guy's a winner.
Really?
Indeed.
That's your third winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody would agree. Come on, that is domestic.
I've never heard such a crawling winner in my life.
How dare you?
Never heard
he's a colleague and a fellow broadcaster,
he's not.
and he's managed to get it right.
Really?
Unlike you, who've blundered around all your life trying to solve domestic crises.
Yeah. Things got so desperate for me, I started working with you.
Staggering from job to job, avoiding, a firing episode here, trying to get on a bandwagon here. No, Chris has just glided through life. Winner.
Yeah. Okay, then. Maybe you could just put him in every week, then, for being such a great guy.
I only have put him in once, and I'll put him in this week because he's just expanded his family.
Okay,
I would say Porky's nominations tonight are pretty brilliant, folks.
Well,
that's only my opinion.
Certainly an improvement on last week.
That's only my
when
opinion.
You couldn't remember the bloke you were nominating.
That's completely untrue, and there's a lot of gerrymandering going on next week. No gerrymandering needed this week, folks. I think you'll find the quality of mine. And by the way, I knew everything about the quality of MGs as well, because the research factor this week's been going on since Tuesday this week. So I think you should recognise that and reward me with your vote.
Okay.
Vote Porky.
All right, please.